good start to your week. I hope that you're having a great day. Look, I want to talk to you specifically about what's going on with Epic Realm. Epic Realm is the community that I created to allow people with like minds, like thoughts, like aspirations, like desires and destinations to come together in a safe space where there's encouragement, where there's instruction, where there is advice, where you're going to be encouraged to take moves, and the positive space you need to cultivate self-confidence, to cultivate a positive mindset. I created it to be a national network, but also be a hub where people can come build their winning circles. There's so much going on right now. We have weekly Q&A sessions. We have breakouts about anything. Any person can pose a question at any time and someone's going to come. We have community experts on a number of different topics. I have made it a point to bring in some people who are exceptional at what they do so that they can advise, so that you can be guided in the right direction. I'm going to be consistently engaged in doing what it is I do. People look, like I said, you're going to be able to come get all of that. You're going to get 20% off of anything that I offer as a member. You're going to have these experts at your disposal on a daily basis where you can literally come in and pose a question within our organization and get an answer. We're going to operate on a couple of different platforms so that everybody has access. We're going to be on Facebook. We're going to be on Instagram. We're going to be on YouTube. We're going to use Zoom and Google Meets just to start. We're building a site out to house content outside of normal platforms just in case something goes wrong. We always have connectivity. In addition to all of that, everybody who joins, until further notice, I've been saying today, but until further notice, everybody who joins will be gifted a rapid change breakthrough session with yours truly. Now, what I have done today is I'm making the rapid change breakthrough session interchangeable with the 30-day holistic challenge. So that means that either way, there's about a $47 difference. The rapid change breakthrough session is highly intense session, and it's $350. The holistic breakout session is done over a course of 4 weeks. Might be slightly more engagement, but it's done in smaller increments of time. The goal is to break out, create a plan, and deal with all impediments. But either way, you get to work with yours truly in a way that's going to change your life with a program value of worth anywhere of $350 to close to $400. And you're going to get that just by joining, which is 3 plus to almost 4 times the value. And I'm doing this because I want you to benefit from this. I want you to see what's going on, how people are being encouraged, how people are being lifted, how people are being empowered. But most importantly, I want you to experience the difference in being within an environment where your success is at the forefront, where people want you to win, where people want you to gain traction and grow, where they're literally contributing to you becoming better. I want you to see what an environment like that looks like, because that expedites your growth, that expedites your advancement, that expedites your elevation, and it puts you on a fast track to win. And this is what this is about, building a winning circle by existing within a winning environment. I want to invite you to be a part of the Epic Realm family. Let me tell you, there's some rules. Everybody in the Epic Realm family is in a safe space. This is not where you come to tear anybody down. This is not where you come to be negative. This is not that space. This is a space for people who want to win, who want to see other people win, who are willing to go all out and change their life. And we want to make 2022 epic for the people who want to see massive change in their lives. I want to put my hands on it personally. And that's why I created this group, because I wanted to put my hands on it, and I wanted to bring other heavy hitters and winners in to put their hands on it. I want you to have this space where a bunch of people you've heard of before are going to come in and literally touch what you're doing. And you're going to experience it in one place where you are going to get so much benefit out of just being a member. So much that you're going to get over and over again, weekly, like I say, weekly Q&As with yours truly. But we're going to bring other people in. There are experts in the group right now answering questions on all kind of different topics. And all you got to do is find the experts you're looking for, and we're bringing more and more in. And we want to help as many people as possible. So click the link in the description box and come on over and join the Epic Realm community, where we are growing, where we're becoming more powerful, where we're expanding. I think right now the furthest member we have is in the UK. But we're definitely creating a national network here in the US, but we're expanding abroad. We want to invite anyone who wants to win and who wants to be a part of a positive environment. We want you in there. So definitely click the link, come on over. Let's get together. I want to personally be a part of you seeing exceptional, extraordinary, and phenomenal in your life this year. So come on over. On that note, I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable day. Hey everybody, Dr. Rick here, dropping in on you. Hope everybody is winding down their day, having conducted a very productive day, despite challenges, because challenges is what? A part of the process, right? We talk about that. Look, I'm going to share a story with you. Some of you have heard this story before, but I'm going to add a part that I have never added, because I want to share something with you. I want to show you how things work when we talk about success. Back in the mid 90s on up into the mid 2000s, I ran an international relocation company, contracted out to different companies. And what I did is basically I handle the A to Z responsibilities and tasks of expatriating and repatriating high-level executives for a number of different companies, including Unical, EDS, based in Dallas, Nortel, Flora Daniels. There was some private individuals, the former conductor of the Houston Symphony. I returned him back to France. So I helped him actually repatriate back to France after years of being the conductor in Houston. I think that was like 2002. But by far, the most memorable responsibility I had was the repatriation of all of the expats for Enron when Enron collapsed. This is memorable to me, not only because of all of the storylines that it got and the workload that it produced, because I was literally working on this. This wasn't something I was outsourcing or giving. I was literally working this myself. These were huge contracts, a lot of money flowing, a lot of responsibility. So I was handling them myself, which created an unbelievable workload. But it was a learning experience for me in more ways than one. Anyway, what made it memorable wasn't the press coverage, the impact on the stock market, and all of the other things that everybody probably thinks and remembers. Remember, I'm dealing with the employees. I'm repatriating high-level executives, so 6- and 7-figure employees and their staff. I'm repatriating them. I'm bringing them back to the United States. But the difference in this and what I normally do in a repatriation, normally in a repatriation, I'm repatriating you, I'm bringing you back, I'm telling you where your new location is going to be, I'm getting you set up with a new home, I'm getting you set up with your school district, I'm doing all those things, I'm getting your household goods prepared to be delivered to your new home, I'm shipping all of your stuff that you took with you back, some as a sea shipment, others as an air shipment. I'm handling that. Any updating of documents, depending on how long you're going, you may have to get a new driver's license, or you get your driver's license renewed, and things of that nature, as well as helping the family, the wife especially, get reacclimated, because normally these were executives were men. Every now and then that would be a woman, but predominantly men. So the difference is, normally that's what I'm doing. In this instance, I'm repatriating them back to severance. They are being terminated, laid off, whatever the term you want to use, but they're coming home to the fact that they no longer have this cushy job that some of them had for years. And anyway, I'm coming back. So in this process, you're given everything they need to know. If they're repatriating to a new position, you give them the position, you give them the salary, you give them the allowances they have. Some of them have car allowances, housing allowances, even housekeeping allowances. But in this instance, I'm repatriating them, and I'm telling them what their severance package is. And you obviously, as you can imagine, you've got a lot of somberness going on. You got a lot of people who are devastated. None more devastating than a lady, I'm obviously not going to call her name, but an older white lady who was this close to retiring. And you might think, well, if she was that close to retiring, no big deal. She was, here's the problem. Because Enron was falsifying their earnings statements, they had employees that were heavily invested in Enron stock. In fact, that they were emptying their 401ks to invest in it. This woman had worked for the company for nearly 30 years. She was about to retire. She was expecting to have a nest egg over $1 million. Instead, she retired to debt. Not retired, forced to retire. She was forcibly retired to debt in her 60s. And, not marketable at that point. Nobody wants to hire a 60-year-old. And then even if somebody hires her, you got to work how long before you can get your bearings? Probably the rest of your life. Now, me personally, I don't have a problem with working the rest of my life, but I don't want me working the rest of my life to be because I have no choice, because if I don't, I'll starve or I'll be homeless. And I've told you this part of the story before, but there was another black young brother, probably late 20s, early 30s. And he was an IT guy. So when he came back, they needed him to stay on for a year. And so we kind of connected. And we talked, and so we sort of kind of connected, and he realized some of the things I did outside of international relocation. He looked at me and said, "Man, how are you doing it all?" I say, you find a way to do the things that you're passionate about and the things you feel you need to do so that you're prepared for the future. He said, "Talk to me about it more." And so we would have these meetings, and eventually he stood up and said, "Man, I got a year left where I'm going to have a salary with Enron until we end up scaling down and totally shutting everything down. And I'll be one of the last employees they let go, but eventually I'm going to have to do this over. I don't want to go to another company and do this again and risk doing this all over again. Luckily, I'm not one of the people who is in their 50s and their 60s and having to try to figure out what they're going to do. I'm young enough now to where I've got a do-over in me. But I don't want to do it again. At least not working my butt off for someone else. Now, if I'm forced to start over for myself, that's a different story. I just watch and repeat and do it until I get it right. And he says, but I don't know where to start. I say, hey, let's sit down. And over the next year, I worked with this brother. Taught him the game, showed him the game, and more importantly than showing him the ins and outs of business and all that other stuff, what I did is I taught him the mind game, because the mind game is the most powerful thing. Psychology is 80% of success. How you see the world through your mind, how you visualize the world through your mind, how you see yourself from your mind is 80% of it. If you get the psychology right, you can be wrong in the plan. You can be wrong in the strategy, but you're going to get there because the mindset won't let you fold. The mindset is seeking answers while you're moving through the difficult times. The mindset is sitting up and saying, what's next? How do we do this? Shouldn't have done that. Keep going. And so what I did is I worked with him and we got the mindset down. The brother is still doing his thing. He still got everything going on. What? Man, that was 2003, I want to say. Something like 2003 or 2004. Nope, definitely wasn't 2004. So it was either in 2002 or 2003. I can't remember right now the exact, but for a year I worked with him. And man, the dude is, laced. He's great. He's doing fine. Never had to hold another job down. Nothing against holding jobs, but when you set your mind to say, this is what I want to do, and I don't want to be dependent upon another person to provide me with my income, and you set your mind to do it, and then you set out and you do it. I'm not telling you it was easy for him all the time. I'm not telling you that it's always been easy for me. It's been some trying times. And if you're pushing yourself, there's never this time where it's just so easy and laid back, because you're not settling. And if you're not settling, you're pushing yourself. And you're pushing yourself, you're at a place of discomfort. I tell people all the time that one of the things that makes me successful is I've gotten comfortable with being uncomfortable. And matter of fact, when I find myself being too comfortable, and nothing seems to be tugging, there's no resistance, there's no pushback, there's no adversity, there's no obstacle, I start to wonder what's going on. Am I challenging myself enough? Am I pushing myself to go in the right direction? What's the situation? Because I understand that resistance that so many people fight with all effort to avoid is the very thing that creates the momentum for growth, that creates the force and the necessity of growth. You can't gain ground, you can't grow if you don't have something that's pushing against you. That's what creates the force that basically demands that you get stronger mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and yes, physically. Why am I sharing this story with you? Because I want to tell you something. The people that I brought back, that woman wasn't the only one. There were a bunch that were devastated, but she was definitely devastated the most. She lost the most in the sense of where she was. She didn't lose the most money-wise, but she lost the most in value. That $1 million to her was probably worth the $5 million some of the others lost. Because number one is she was at an age where she really didn't have, any idea what she was going to do in the future. She's retirement age. Finding another job that was going to have any longevity and any real true bite to it. Go get a job at Walmart that wasn't going to cover her expenses. She wasn't living a Walmart type life. So she was in that situation. Now there were other people who lost more, but they were going to be able to recover because number one, they were probably younger. They had skill sets that kind of dealt with money. They could go off and maybe play the stock market or create some other, or start their own business. It was so many other things. she didn't have that skill set. She didn't plan for that. She planned on retiring from a company. She was working from the old model of go to a company, find a good job, stick with that job, show that job loyalty, don't quit, be there for 30 years, retire, get your pension, and walk away and live off of your pension. But truth is, who can really live off your pension? Some people survive off of a pension. Very few people live off of a pension. You know, the amount of money you would have had to make in order to have a pension that you can live off of means that you made enough money that if you played the game right, you're not living off the pension anyway. So why am I telling this story? Because there are so many people out there right now that think they're safe. For whatever reason, it may not be the same reason, but for whatever reason, they think they're safe. They think that everything's good. Just wake up every day and go to work. The problem is, the thing that you're messing with isn't yours. It belongs to someone else. Maybe they're handling it right. Maybe they mean you well. Maybe they'll do right by you. Maybe even they may have intentions to do right, but something goes wrong. What is your next play? Don't wait on life to deal you a hand that forces you to take action. I tip up people all the time. Sometimes you make a move and you jump. Other times you refuse to move and you're pushed. What you don't want is to be pushed and have to figure that out. Can you do it? Absolutely can. You can absolutely do it, but that's not the position you want to be doing it from. You want to be doing it from a position of where you've taken action, you've taken the initiative, you're in control of the start, and that way you set the direction. You're in a point of action instead of recovery. Can you recover? Absolutely. I can show you how to do that if you're in that situation. But I would rather show you how to take action to better your position, to leverage who you are in this world, to leverage your value. Because if someone is paying you, especially if someone's paying you decent to good, that means you have value. You have a skill set. That's something valuable about you. The people that are paying them will pay you. You have to know how to present yourself. You have to market yourself. You know how to set yourself up. But I tell people all the time, if they're paying you 6 figures, how much do you think you're making them? Now, they may have the scalability to leverage your skill at a way that can make them more money using you than you can make yourself. But I guarantee you, you can make at least and better than what you're being paid on your own. And it's yours. Yeah, you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to get out there. There are going to be some Saturdays and some Sundays when you're getting started. There are going to be some 10 and 12 and 14-hour days at least. That's a part of the grind. That's a part of the investment. That's a part of the effort that shows God, that shows the world, that reveals to life itself that you're committed to having what you say you want. And that's the thing. Wishing for it, praying for it, all of that stuff has its place. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to get out. You're going to have to go out there and you're going to have to actually take action. You're going to have to actually initiate something. You don't want life to initiate it for you. You want to be the one in control. I absolutely love doing what I'm doing. And when I worked with this person that I told you about, we actually became cool, became friends. We started to go out and hang out and connect. And we became cool. And to watch the joy that this person experienced as their life changed. Now, this is a person that made 6 figures. So this wasn't a person that was sitting around saying, man, I'm struggling and I really need. See, struggling is a motivator in and of itself. You know, eventually you ought to be tired of struggling. If you're not making enough money to where everything's squared away and you're good and you have money set aside and you have money invested in other things, you got some passive income, that should be a sense of urgency about everything you do. If you don't have passive income, if you don't have stuff coming in from stuff that you've already created, that's one. You need a sense of urgency. If you don't have enough money set aside to live, that should be a sense of urgency. You should be waking up with a sense of, man, I got to get it today. I got to do something different. I got to do something better. But for those of you who are out there and living and you're getting paid good money, 6 figures, whatever you want to call good money. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to belittle what anybody makes, because if you go out and you make it and you earn it, you're doing something, and I don't want to ever take that away, but I want to tell you it's more out there. And I'm not just talking about money. There's a level of fulfillment that comes with knowing you're doing something that most people aren't doing, or you're doing something that most people thought you couldn't do. Or at some point in time, you maybe even felt like you couldn't do it, and now you're doing it. And I'm telling you it's possible. I'm telling you that it's absolutely doable. And so what I want you to do is really and truly think about that. I want to work with those of you who are serious. I mean serious, because what I'm talking about doing is going to take commitment. It's going to take time. But I'm talking about doing something exceptional with where you are today. And I'm talking about getting it done in 2022. I'm not talking about, hey, look, man, look, 5 years from now, I'm talking about 2022, your life can change. I mean, change for the better and change forever. Doesn't mean that you're not going to face adversity down the line. It just means that you're going to be better prepared to deal with it. And I want to work with you. Also, everybody out there, I don't care where you're at, you should want to be a part of the Epic Realm community of high achievers. This is an environment. It's not just a community. It's an environment that I've created for people to come together and encourage one another, to fan each other's flames, to share knowledge, to put their concerns and their ideas and their thoughts on the table, and to have conversations and dialogues about what's possible, to brainstorm. Everybody is out there. Nobody's left behind. Nobody's on an island. Nobody's left alone. And another thing it will allow you to do is to build a community of people that will also allow you to build your circle. Building the right circle is of the utmost importance, and so many people miss that. Some people make it so difficult because of simply not having the right people around them. We want to set all that up. We want to create programs in this community that are designed only for members, that are for members, that are at no cost to members. And these are going to go monthly. Every week. We had our first Q&A session Saturday. It wasn't as many people as I like, but the people that were there shared. They posed their questions, but they also offered answers and advice, and it was great. Of course, I gave my 2 cents, and I think it was great. I know a couple of people reported back to the group on the platform that we use and talked about how much they were helped. And we're going to continue to do this for every Saturday, unless something happens, and you'll be notified if something gets pushed off to another day. But on Saturdays, we're going to do these Q&As, and then we're going to have these courses each month. Everything from finance to entrepreneurship and how to start a business, how to write a business plan. We're going to deal with mental health. We're going to have a breakout room solely for mental health, because I'm telling you, the strain of going after it isn't easy. People talk about the grind, but they don't talk about the cost. See, grinding like that is a mental strain. It's an emotional strain. You're giving everything you got every day. It takes its toll, and nobody wants to talk about that. But we're going to talk about ways that you can mitigate the pressure that comes with going for the goal, aiming for the fence. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to show you ways that you can manage that you become mentally and emotionally stronger. This is going to be a holistic experience. So I want you to be a part of that holistic experience. And with that being said, I'm going to get off of here. The link to connect with me and work with me one-on-one in the Savage in 6 program. This is just a 6-week program. Oh, but it's intense. The Savage in 6 program, for those of you who are seriously ready to jump off into something, the Savage in 6 program, that link is in there. Also, for those of you who understand the importance of community, the importance of having a good winning circle, that link is also in there. So I encourage you to join. Everybody should join the community, because it's a no lose situation. You're coming in and you are meeting with people, and we want only people who are coming in with a positive mindset and a winning mindset, or wanting to develop a winning mindset. This is not a place for naysayers and the pessimists to come hang out. You will not be welcome and you will be dismissed. But on that note, it's time to make some things happen. It's time. I hope that you get, if you get nothing else today, I hope from what I've shared over the course of the day that you only get this shot of life one time. And it's fleeting, it's passing. And as time passes, you don't get to recover it. So the actions that you take are immensely important. So I'm hoping that I'm encouraging you to take massive action and to get some things done. On that note, I'm about to check out of here. I got to run back in the office. I had to go pick up my, no, she's 17 now. God, they're going up. My 17-year-old, drop her off at home, and then I changed back to the office for a couple of hours. And then I'll head home for the day. But look, it's time to make your move. On that note, I'm out of here, guys.